Hello there, my friends, and welcome back to a long-awaited 1.19 survival episode. I am your host, Dr. Banana, PhD. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry, my voice is a little weird. Welcome back to another episode, a long-awaited episode. It's been quite some time, and it's so good to be back. Now, I've been away for a little while, been very busy and not able to record a lot, but I have made significant progress here on the world. And I've secured a spot for the mega base, which I'm so excited to show you. I'm here in the map room. From last episode, we just created it and put down this map here behind us. Now, I filled it with the two maps of the other members. We have yet for use base here, very formidable, very large. Love the dark stone that he uses for everything. It's very impressive. And we have Lightning Thunder's futuristic base over here. Very impressive structure right here as well. Oh, so cool. Much inspiration. Okay, since I said I had not been able to record for a long time, I started recording me securing the spot for the mega base a really long time ago, and then I didn't record after that, and I've just been building and building. So I will cut to me securing that plot of land, and then I will show you the progress that I have made, and hopefully we can get started on a build. If not, gathering the resources for the build, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. Alright, let's go! Teleporting on in. Let's take a look at this place. Oh, it's nighttime. It's okay. I put the lodestone area right over here next to this chest monster. Let me have a little sleep. And let's take a look at this area. I wanted to secure a nice large area, and the plains biome is the best place to do it. This isn't it. I just wanted to get a good vantage point to be able to fly around and show you the area I have been preparing. Now look at all of this. We have a nice backdrop of these low mountains. And we have this little divot with this natural water feature. And this little ravine in this mountain face. I don't know if I'm going to keep that water feature or I might continue to put flat land over it. But this is the flat land. It was inhabited with a bunch of different wildlife, but especially horses. And I didn't want them to just be displaced, so I have them in this temporary holding cell for right now with this mangrove fence, which looks really, really cool. I created a bunch of land all around here. As you can see, it takes quite a bit of dirt and grass. I didn't have enough to fully complete the square, which is unfortunate, because I will definitely have to go tear down some mountain or do some landscaping to get more dirt to fill that in. But as we take a look down here, we can see the amount of dirt that I had to place to create this type of flat land area. And it's quite a bit. And this platform is not done yet. This is just what I have so far. I'm definitely going to extend this into that mountain range. And I'm most likely going to extend this to fill this hole over here. And of course, once we start building stuff, oops, and falling down, I will definitely blend this in the terrain to make it look a lot more natural and a lot less man-made and less jarring and jagged. But as we take a look over here at this dirt pillar, we can see why this compass is named 1000X. I'm coming up with a better name. Maybe you can help me think of a name as well. Something that represents this area. So this is going to be the town square, right where this dirt pillar is. And exactly where this dirt pillar is, the coordinates for it are 1,000, 1,000. Well, I'm at 999 by 1,000, but this is 1,000, 1,000. So I want to represent something, maybe like the turn of the century, something retro-futuristic of the sort, to represent that this is 1,000, 1,000 at the heart of the Times Square, and that this is Industrial Revolution style, maybe steampunk, something of this sort. It'll all make much more sense once we start building. But it took a lot of work to get this place all flattened out and create extended flat land masses so I can be able to put down a bunch of really cool buildings. We do have a bunch to do and a bunch of resources to collect and area to set up. So let's get started. And now, back to the present. The moment you've all been waiting for. Us cutting to the progress that I've made. Here it is. The courtyard, the pavilion, the warp spot for this large town that I will be creating. And, as a lot of you can probably tell, I have been inspired by Good Times with Scar from Scarland. I use a lot of the same blocks, a lot of the same palettes. I'm just really taken with it. I really, really like it, and it is in line with the theme that we want to create here. We take a little fly up. We can see that I have a road and sidewalks and empty flower beds here that I will be filling up with coral as well. Such a good idea. But on multiple directions, we're going to have all of our different buildings and shops that are all going to take on the turn of the century theme. Kind of like the start of the Industrial Revolution, steampunk-esque, something like that. I am very excited to start working on that and finally put a lot of the copper stores we have to good use. But the first building that we want to put here is the Town Hall. The Town Hall, I envision going right here with the backdrop of this mountain. It will look so nice. It's going to be a large, formidable type of building. Art Deco inspired. I am going to really try to capture that modern, mid-century modern kind of retro-futuristic look of that Art Deco inspired building. But in order to make it, we need a lot of mud blocks. Luckily, we found a mangrove swamp last time. I was able to collect a bunch of mud blocks there from the caves. They actually spawn naturally in caves, which is awesome. You don't need to completely destroy the land. And I've crafted it up into a bunch of packed mud. This is going to be our color palette. Packed mud and granite. I am so very excited to get this project started. Why don't we get it going? Okay, well, real quick, you guys probably had noticed these guys and were wondering what was going on. There was these patrol in this section, and I decided to try to capture them in boats because, hopefully, what I'm going to try to do is pacify these guys. You see their crossbows here? See how that one is enchanted, and these guys don't have enchanted? That means that they're using actual crossbows that you can have, meaning that they have durability. If you let them shoot out all of their arrows and dwindle their durability on the crossbow all the way, you can technically pacify them. Then they will just be walking around with nothing in their hands and they can no longer hurt you. So, as you can tell, I'm going to try to pepper in these guys around in this town. Maybe have them as workers or shopkeepers, just adding a bit of life to this town. But I do need to pacify them. As you can see, they're quite dangerous currently. And this guy has a cow companion and a pig companion, so they're not entirely lonely. But they will be a welcome addition to this place. Okay, enough fooling around. Now let's go. Just finishing this little section here. I am nowhere near being done with this project, but I just wanted to show you some progress. I'm just finishing up oxidizing some of this copper, and I do have to admit it does have a lot of very interesting sounds put together. Kind of those musical notes along with the squishiness of me waxing the copper, but I'm just finishing up this little trim, and let's take a little look-see. Let's go around, come on in, and this is what I have so far. As you can see, it is the base of quite a large building. This is the town hall where I'm going to be putting all of the different information about this area, along with the respective lodestone compasses to teleport all across the map. And I'm still figuring out what I'm going to do down here in this large open space where it is on top of this platform. I might do a storage system or some kind of musical system, but this is what I have so far, and admittedly, it does look like an old-timey high school or even an old-timey university, which was not what I'm shooting for, but once the rest of the building comes up, it will all make sense. It will all really lend itself to that Art Deco kind of style or feel that I am trying to shoot for. Much more to be done. And as you can hear, there is some spiders I trapped down here somewhere. Let's see if I can find this guy. Aha! There you are! Been hearing you the entire time I've been down here. Let me light... Oh my goodness, it's so dangerous down here. Let me light this area up a little bit so that I'm not hearing these guys over and over again. Oh, there's another one. Dun, dun, dun. This has become its own little mini adventure. I don't know why the arrow just phased through his body. My goodness. Alright, hopefully I don't die to spider underneath my base. That would not be the best start to this location. Unintentional spider spawner, it seems. Man, I wish I can travel faster underneath here. I'm just crawling. Let's get a different view. This is me. This is me hunting spiders underneath my base. Oh, goodness. There we go. I did not expect I would be doing this as part of building my base. I'ma get you. I'ma get you. There you are. Come here. Got you. Alright, let's go patch up those holes. I ran out of torches, so I'm going to need to do this another time. I don't even remember where I entered. Oh, it's over here. Boop. The other spiders, I'll worry about you some other time. But I'm happy with the progress that I've made. This just took only a few hours. So very excited to get the rest of the building going. As you can see, it's currently floating. It's currently floating. As you can see, it's currently floating. I have yet to come up with a nice design for this bottom element. I'm wondering if I will do some decorated ornate stone pillars, or I might make even some kind of colorful mural. I'm not too sure yet. And of course, the sidewalk will extend all over here, and I'm potentially thinking about having this road splinter off going that way, but only time will tell. So this project is coming underway, and I'm so excited to continue with it. Let's go! I'm some part through working on the town hall, and I've run out of resources. Most importantly, granite. I've run out of one of the most important resources I need to make this project is granite. So I'm flying over to this section, which is just right across the way from the town hall, or the town square, really. And this is where my beacon is, which you can't see the beam until just now for whatever reason. I just got close. But I've located this area. This is a chunk border of slime. Let's see, F3, I think it's G? Yeah, there we go. I think this is a quad slime chunk, from what I can remember. That's what these indicate here. I have my chunk borders up, so I know exactly where to have my boundary. But down here is a quad slime chunk that I hope to make a slime farm in the future. I currently don't have any slime. But whilst digging all this out, I've gotten so many resources. These are my chests for all of the resources that I got. A bunch of cobblestone, a bunch of deep slate, regular deep slate. I just emptied this out for granite, and then I ran out again, some diorite, and just a whole bunch of stuff down here. And I'm still not even completely done, so I'm going to fall all the way down into the water. So this is the lowest point that I'll go to. I don't need to go down to bedrock. This is only about at negative 54. And I decided to go in a straight line, cut directly through this geode. This is so neat. Just perfect slice. Just like that. I have a few geodes that produce this crystal, so I don't really need this one. But this is my area here. As you can tell, I don't have the top mined out just yet. And I have this little scaffolding thing to get up to other levels. Just above this, not too many blocks, is my current progress. Here's the hole. It's quite huge. That's what she said. It goes all the way up to that level, right above the deep slate level. I started at that level so I could hopefully get some smooth stone diamond ore, which is incredibly rare. And in this entire 4-chunk section, at that area, which is the most common place for that diamond, I didn't find a single one, which is too bad. But this is my big hole. You're probably wondering why it's pretty messy and uneven. I've been destroying this slowly, inch by inch, block by block with TNT, using the gunpowder from my creeper farm. And I've ran out. Or at least I haven't made any more TNT. This is underway as well. But in the process, I've gotten a lot of resources. Take a look. There's a lot of little patches of the granite. But I'm not going to be mining in this section. I'm actually going to go fly up here into this section and almost die. Thankfully not. It bisects this dripstone cave. And, if you don't know, dripstone naturally spawns with a bunch of copper ore, but also a bunch of granite. They go hand in hand. Granite and copper ore and dripstone caves. So, I don't want to do a bunch of mining of the granite in this section. I want to find some other sections to try to mine. And I started over here. Tore out a bit of this area here and just kept on going. I want to find a nice open flat space to do a lot of my granite mining that's still within the proximity of the beacon beam since I have haste 2. So I can instant mine. Here we go. This seems like a great spot. Just take out Fortune 5 pick and get to going. Look at that. That is so fast. I'll be able to have all the granite that I need in no time. This area opens up into a big cave that I just realized, and it's much bigger than I thought. What if I go over this way and try not to die? I have found a abandoned mine shaft. And I think it's so cool how these mine shafts spawn inside of these caves. If they're close to the ceiling, they'll be suspended by the chains, which is such a cool detail. And if they are close to the floor, then they'll be suspended by wood pillars. Man, look at this. Such interesting generation. Little treat to explore this while I'm getting a bunch of resources. So I'm a little lost in this mine shaft, but one of my favorite things about having the lodestone compasses is it makes it so incredibly convenient to get yourself out of these tricky situations so that you don't end up dying and losing all of your stuff in these random areas. Let's warp on back, and here we are to the center of this little town square. Alright, I say we do have enough granite so far. We'll definitely have to get more in the future if we want to lay down more of these sidewalk tracks here. Alright, such a fun detail here that I like doing is I like to fly and get really fast and then try to click on the bed because I fly off the edge way over here on the floor and end up sleeping. But whenever I wake up, I pop right next to the bed. I think it's just so funny to bounce right off of it and go to sleep many blocks away. Just a little progress update, and here we are. We have finished the second layer of the town hall. It's coming along quite nicely. I'm able to make some awesome consistent progress. Of course, after going on the grinding spree to get a bunch of granite, this has definitely been going much smoother now that I have the resources. But this is the last progress update that I'll show you until everything is complete. So I have the roof, and then I have the central spire that brings it all together. And I just put down this little cobblestone platform just so I can walk around and take in the space and be able to put in the actual flooring much easier in the future. But I'm very happy with this project, how it's going along. Another thing that I need for this build is a bunch of oxidized copper. Now, I have a ton of copper, but not enough that is oxidized. And so, I have installed a data pack on this server that helps me rapidly oxidize copper in an interesting and unique way, courtesy of thick splash potions. You can make these by brewing up a potion, just a water bottle inside of the brewing stand, with a glowstone, and to make it splash is a gunpowder. And this will help oxidize the copper. Let's see how well it works. There we are. I think it only works in a 3x3. So that is what we're going to do with these. Rapidly oxidize the copper. Takes it from one stage to the next. Just like that. Now this is much more convenient than placing them 5 blocks apart at a large surface area and just waiting for them to oxidize. There we are, almost instantly oxidized copper. I just love the many different types of data packs that we have on this server that really help the quality of life and make it a little bit more fun and or engaging to play. So I've messed around with the settings of the Bobby mod that I have, which allows very far render distances, and just take a look at everything that we can see on the horizon. I didn't even know there was a mountain over there. Well, of course I knew, but I didn't realize how close it was. Little hill over there with some trees, and you can see Spawn Mountain and part of Lightning Thunder's Cathedral. Look, there's the rest of Spawn Mountain. Some large peaks over there. Let's have a little fly around. Let's get some height. Look at all of this. There's Lightning Thunder's mountain, my mountain, Spawn Mountain, that mountain, everything. Everything just feels so much closer. I know this doesn't really seem like a big deal, probably to people who play on a survival world or people that play on Bedrock Edition that have very far render distances, but here in Java servers, this is just something you don't see very often. I mean, look how large everything feels, how connected everything feels. It really changes up the feeling of the game and just makes it feel much more accessible and connected. Of course, with this mod at a cost of some frames, but it's still very much playable. Look over there. Man, that is so neat. I'm having so much fun with this. I am here in the Mushroom Islands because I need to farm up a bunch of these mushroom blocks, specifically the stems. Look at the stems behind me. Look at that texture. That's beautiful. Of course, I've used these stems before as wall blocks inside of my tower, specifically the level that has the librarians and the clerics, but I need a bunch of them because I plan to line the inside of this building with this block, because look at the texture. It's just so nice. I've set up a little area behind me here. This is where I will do all the farming. That little pit right there and that scaffolding will help me farm up these blocks. That pit is where I'm going to grow them, and I'm going to climb on top of the scaffolding to get the really tall ones, because they do get pretty tall. Oh, and just a quick aside, I recorded a few clips that unfortunately didn't have any audio, so I couldn't include them. But essentially, let me give you a rundown. I happened to die, I don't remember how, and I had to spend a bunch of time trying to get all of my netherite stuff back. I had diamond gear as a replacement, but I needed to go on a big grind to get some more netherite and combine it with my gear. And I'll be doing a bunch more netherite mining in the future, because in 1.20 they're going to be changing the netherite system. Essentially, you're going to need to find a upgrade template in order to upgrade your stuff to netherite in the future, making netherite gear all the more rare. So, if you have a world, make sure to get a bunch of netherite and upgrade your gear before the 1.20 update comes out. Also, I have a few mods. As you can tell, I do have the far view mod. You can't really tell on here, but I've showed you earlier in the video, and on my side there, look at that, it's a little sword. I have a mod that allows me to have some additional character animations. Look at that, I'm just holding out the torch, and like I was holding out the compass. And it adds a fun little switcheroo animation of me putting it in my other hand. Look at that. Just a bunch of little key details to really add to the fun of it. But enough dilly-dallying, let's get started on this channel's first ever collection time-lapse. This just in, I just warped to my tower, and what do I find? This box from Yeah4U, new farm, and it's full of shulker shells. Oh my goodness, this is so much more than I ever could have imagined me actually having, and the perfect amount that I could probably ever use, unless I'm going to get crazy into farms. But this is awesome. This has been a major limiting factor in my storage and production, is the amount of shulker boxes that I can make, along with the lodestone compass. Where does this lead? I'm so curious. Let's find out. Here, I have to face you. We're gonna do it at the same time. With me looking directly at this compass. Let's see. Let's warp on in. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Whoa, we are out here in the end. You know, if anyone were to do this, it is definitely yeah for you. Let's get a larger, wider view of this. Oh my goodness. This is incredible. What what is up there? So stoked to have a full supply of shulker shells. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at it work. Oh, that's so cool. So, how you're able to do this is that if you somehow have a shulker bullet that they fire at you, the one that makes you levitate, if you have that redirected at a shulker themselves, then they'll duplicate. And then you just got to make sure that they duplicate in the right spot. Oh, oh, there it goes. Oh, wow. And you can kill it and collect its body. You know, we got to go take a little look-see-daisy at this. This is the new mod that I have installed, Free Cam. There's my little person over there. And I get to take a little look at what's happening. Oh, this is very neat. Oh my goodness. This is going. Wow. Oh, here they go. They're teleporting. They're teleporting. Oh, I see. They get shuffled into the mine carts because they want to open but they can't. So they teleport to an area that they can open, and that goes into the minecart. Minecart sends them into here. Oh, wow. So it just perpetuates the cycle. Oh. Looks like there's some shulker shells in this region. Oh, they're trying to hit these guys. Oh, they die in here from entity cramming. Oh, and that's how the items are collected. So it looks like death in the smaller section is just a byproduct of what's happening here. Wow. That is incredible! So lucky to have friends like this. It is here. It is finally here. The build, the facade, the outside is done. Well, at least all of the major blocks. I just have to add a few little finishing touches, but let me show you it finally. Here it is! The completed build. Oh, I'm so happy of how it turned out. Such a great, grandiose feel. Look at that silhouette. I just love how it just fills the horizon. It's the main focal point of this area. The place that draws you in right after you've been teleported inside. Teleported to that location there. And how a lot of the tone and colors match the outside here. That's one way to tie it into being officially part of this land, of this area. And I am just so incredibly happy with it. Let's take our little free cam, say bye to myself, and back up a bit, just so that we can see much more of this building from a different angle. It has series of towers going taller, really creating this large grandiose effect. If we zoom on out, we get to see the entire thing right there, all together. Going back to ourselves. Here it is. Now you could probably see the multiple different levels or layers or types of materials that I've used in this build slowly going up. I tried to give it a desaturated effect going up there to the top, like it's being occluded by the atmosphere, like in real life, with regular buildings. You see much less detail as you go up, and the blue atmosphere essentially deflects a lot of the colors going out and gives it a bluish kind of tint. And it's not immediately noticeable, it's very subtle, and you can't always tell, especially on warm colors, but on the warm tones, it goes from much more reddish color, more saturated, up lighter, desaturated. You see, that's why it's lighter brown. That's what the effect of adding a very, very fine blue film to it from the atmosphere. Or at least that's what I've learned, and that's what I'm trying to incorporate here. I've tried to add a little bit of the texturing in there to break it up, make it not a straight, jagged line. And I'm really happy with it. Happy with how it turned out. If we go on up, we can see that it's immediately clear I do not have an interior just yet. This is it. It's just an empty shell, and I have much work to do on filling in the bottom. Even putting a floor, it will not be cobblestone. This is just a little floating platform. And I have to figure out what to do with this ceiling. So far, I really like these skylights that I put in. Has a really great feeling. It's going to have a very large and open feel, even when I add some interior. Even the interior will act as anchor points for its scale and its size of how much it's changing. And I'm so excited to bring this build to life. Now, there is one more thing I have to add to this. Just little finishing touches with signs and trapdoors along the frames, just to give it a slightly little bit more detail and texturing. So, without further ado, let's stop dilly-dallying. Let's get to it. Behold, a beautiful rainbow! It just rained and I applied shader packs. And look how gorgeous it looks. Little rainbow over the horizon, some slight puddles, colored lighting, the movement of the shadow. Hello, it's me! As we take a look at the rising sun behind the town hall in all of its glory. It is gorgeous and the outside is finally done. You know, in the darkness, this does look a little sinister. That was not my intention. Which is especially true with the shaders on. But look how gorgeous this looks. Look at this moving shadow. Look at everything around here. This just looks amazing. Alright, now that the sun is closer to the right spot, let's take a look at these details. Right here. We added some of these signs here. These are jungle signs along the side and the sides of these thick pillars. And these dark oak... What are these called? What are these? These dark oak trapdoors to act as shutters on these windows. And I have to say, I really enjoy it. It's very subtle, but it just adds a little bit more to the texturing and the detail. And I'm glad I did this. It really puts it all together. Now I can finally say that the facade is done. I want to thank you all for joining me here on this long-awaited episode of the Minecraft Let's Play series. Finally finishing and starting and finishing my mega base, and I have big plans here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Goodbye! Just Bobby sauce.